Hello, everybody, and welcome to our fourth edition of the Game of the Week. We started with Brazil doing culture. We went second with Japan doing science, and then we went to Russia doing religion. So I thought it made a lot of sense if we went with our fourth week being domination. That way we've hit all the various victory conditions, and then we can explore other things from there. As Twitch chat will be able to tell you, domination is probably my least favorite victory condition to go for. I find it to be rather tedious at times. After a while, it just kind of the movement of troops sometimes just gets on my nerves a little bit, and I kind of start to neglect the home front and the whole SimCity part, which tends to be my favorite part, and kind of micromanaging things. So yeah, it's not bad. I don't mind it from time to time, and I'm going to see if we can have a real fun Genghis run for you. As always, we're live at twitch.tv/Normulator, and having a great time with chat as always. So stop on by and say hello if you haven't already, or even if you have, do it again. I hope you guys are really enjoying this series, this Game of the Week series. We also have our first 40 turns series, which we're putting up on the channel every single day, and I'm having a lot of fun doing that as well. Yeah, great to have you guys, and let's do this thing. So here we are. We have a fabulous start. By the way, you'll be able to notice I did have a couple of requests for me to put the game seed and conditions and stuff like that up on YouTube, so people could play along if they wished and try to play similar game styles, or maybe outdo me, whatever. I also have a command in chat, which also displays that information as well. So yeah, hope that satisfies one of your desires. Thank you for being here, and let's do this. So we have a settler. One consideration when I did see this seed just a few moments before I jumped on stream here to get started, I found us a map. One may consider crossing the river and doing a turn two start in order to get closer to the 2-3. But that would pull you further away from your only luxury that you currently see. Even though it's not a great luxury, it's still your only luxury. And you'd be pulled away from good tiles down here potentially, and depending on where this lake goes and stuff up here, like you might actually be able to put a city up here somewhere that could take advantage of those. And it's always nice to have great tiles on your second city as well. So because we do have some solid tiles down here that we're going to be able to take advantage of for our capital, I think it's better to just settle here and then potentially leave these tiles for something that's up there, or just make them as, you could buy out to them later on and just make your capital unbelievably powerful. One of the things I would say I go for in domination games is 4 cities is really kind of the most you really need, because you're going to start taking over cities. There's going to be cities you find that you like and you want to keep them. Obviously you have to keep all the capitals, so there's no need to really churn out a lot of cities to start with. I've done runs where I've gotten up to 6 cities in my civilization before moving on and getting a lot into the battle, but we'll try to push pretty quickly to our horseman units and knock the competition around, basically. Yeah. Thank you for being here, guys. Let's do this. I'm going to found rate in space, like I said. I think what I'm going to do is this river. I kind of want to follow the river with my scout, which we'll start with. We'll focus on production, so we're running that 2-2 tile and not the 3-1. So I kind of want to... What I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to head left, because we're on the left. I'll head left, and then have the scout follow the river. Is typically, I think, the way I would like to do this. So, yeah, let's do it. So we could go mining and animal husbandry are both going to help us out here. This will be a 3-2. This will be a 2-3. Obviously, we'll need animal husbandry for this. We also have a resource to farm as well. So, that will be a nice tile there. Maybe a farming triangle or something as well. But we'll be able to do pasture, quarry, and resource to farm. Those are fabulous things that I always like to make sure you get done right out of the gate. So, GG's. That's it. Next turn. Let's do this. Boom, boom, ba-doom, boom, boom. Step on the hill. There's marble, but it is out of reach of our capital. We're seeing more really good stuff here. So hopefully, maybe fresh water would help us grab this even close by. And then hopefully maybe a city down the river, and then maybe that's all you need, right? 3 or 4 really good cities. Let's go ahead and click next turn again. We found a continent. So, and actually, you know what? I do this sometimes when I get my YouTube introduction going, and then I forget sometimes to do some of the things that I like to do at the start. Take a look at the settler lens, and oh, we actually do have a commercial city-state right here. So good to know. And also, we'll take a look at the continents lens real quick. That is our second continent, which is a great discovery as well. And we're going to want to try and get a first meet, hopefully, on those guys. I would imagine it will be. Let's go next turn and see what we can get there. Now, one thing I will, just as a quick thing, I'm just noticing here, there's 2 hills right here. And some people might be like, they see it up, like it's a little bit north of us slightly. So they might think, oh, that's step right here. But those hills could potentially be in the way of getting line of sight of their borders. And so if they don't have a unit in the area, which it doesn't look like they do now, you might actually not get the meat right now. But if you step to here, you will have line of sight across this flat land here. So that's actually an important thing to note about line of sight versus getting potentially height. So you might think, hey, I'll just get to this stone and have height and I'll be able to see, and you don't see any hills down this way, so it may not be as great an idea. But by stepping here, we will definitely get that meat because of the line of sight. And it was the first meat, and it was muscat. I always do that the first time. Oh, boom and boom. So muscat is city with commercial hub. What is it? It's bonus? +1 amenities. Okay, +1 amenities with cities with commercial hubs. That's pretty good for us because we'll probably have commercial hubs in all our cities. Your districts, you want to go military district, the encampment, super duper early. Start working on your great generals. So that's like the first district you're going to make. And then you're going to want to get science districts and commercial hubs down. Science districts to help you keep up with technology so that you don't fall behind in the military unit race, and also commercial hubs to pay for the war itself. So those are really the 3 that you're going to want to build. So we'll have commercial hubs, and that'll help us with some amenities going forward. So now I will say let's step on the hills. We'll continue to step on the hills. We got lots of hills to step on. Maybe, you know, we tend to find that this isn't on a river, which is interesting, but you tend to find them in groups. So I'm thinking maybe we'll just do kind of encircle this place maybe and see if you can find another city-state in that area. Scout in 2, growth in 3. So we'll probably stick a turn into the monument before we for that. Keep going here. It looks like very likely that there's tundra up there actually. So it looks like we're probably open to the north. There's also fresh water. It looks like this looks like it might be a lake. I don't think that's hard to tell. And it won't tell us if we do the settler lens because those are on. You can't put a city on those tiles anyway, so those will be red. But it looks like that might be another lake. So that's interesting. So that lake might help us here, but looks like we're kind of going to be at least our northern border. We might have to deal with barbarians, but potentially not any civilizations. Let's move to here. Yeah, we got tundra there. Now, my first thought was to follow the river, but now that I know that we have tundra to our north, I kind of like to band off the tundra and then work my way south. So what I'm kind of thinking, maybe this is a bad idea, the warrior is going to kind of probably just come and do the tundra like this, So then what I could do is, with my scout, is just come out here and then swoop this way. Or I guess I could go river, but then I'd have to choose which way to go. You kind of miss some, and I'm not going to make another scout or anything that recent, or that anytime that soon. So I feel like there's a good chance city number 2 could be here with these nice tiles and potentially fresh water. So I feel like if I went with the scout this way, maybe got to the next river over or something like that, and then swept around, I could just keep going all the way through, and then the warrior could come back home for defense. So I think I am going to move to the right. That land's getting pretty flat out here. Not surprising, since this is standard conditions. We do not have, we're not going to get a ton of hills around, so having some hills is definitely an advantage. Let's stick 1 turn and 1 turn only into the monument before we switch to our settler. Pop 2. Oh, there's a scout. So we'll very quickly switch over to our settler. That's actually going to line up with our 11 turns. We are working both 2/2s. Yes, we are. Okay. Now, that's interesting. It is going to be difficult for him to see our city center without actually stepping on our land. So there's a chance he'll miss us. At any rate, we are going to want to continue to run out to the right here and clear open some land. The one good thing I like, you know, a lot of times I do play sometimes with New World Age, and I do play sometimes with wet conditions in order to have lots of chops and productive tiles and be able to build mines and stuff like that. But there's the thing to keep in mind with that is if you're playing on deity, the deity AI has buffs to their production and growth and everything like that. So if you're playing New World Age and wet, they've also got hills and trees, so they're actually getting that advantage as well, and they're actually getting a buff on top of it. The other thing I really like about it, particularly for military games and even religious games, when you've got a lot of movement, units moving around, is the hills and the trees can get in your way of progressing quickly towards other people's cities. It almost acts as defense for them, so working on standard conditions can be very helpful on domination. So that's part of the reason why I went with that here, as well as not giving the AI the advantages of really strong cities that they can use buffs on. So let's keep moving this way. I'm going to step to this, I'm hoping, lake. It is indeed a lake, and we found a barb hut, and I'm guessing that's the barb hut from this guy here, unless there's 2 up there, which would not be great. So this will allow us to deal with this really quickly. We can see we found some more great tiles and fresh water in hills. Like, this is fabulous. So potentially one of those stone tiles, you settle on one of those stone tiles, and you've got all of these really good tiles in your second layer. My thought would be, just looking at this, my thought would be settle probably south, get as far away from the tundra as you can, and gobble up as much tiles this way as you can. Yeah, and especially just making the marble in quicker, right? Because if you're here, the marble's in your 3rd layer, so probably almost for sure, I would think, unless we see something in particular to the north we like. I would think that would be city number 2 right there. And then who knows, maybe just, depending on what we see for tiles, maybe a city here, and then we just go, right? Maybe a 4th city. Looks like we're gonna have some productive cities. So getting 3 settlers out, having 4 cities isn't too big of a challenge, I don't think. All right, next turn. Oh, okay. So he did step on the hill, and he does have vision of us. We're gonna have to really, really hope he does not find us. Now, this is a hill? Yeah. So I'm gonna step on this hill. It looks like you can see by the border that it lets us step to this tile. But now I'm actually looking at it. It actually says we can get to that. So this is all flat land. We could actually progress all the way to this tile as well if we wanted to. But I kind of don't want to leave, because when I get to here, I'm going to sweep down. So I kind of want to make sure I'm looking as much of this as I can and have less for the warrior to do. So part of me wants to kind of sweep this way. But part of me thinks, hey, we can go 3 tiles this way. I think I'm going to take the extra tiles. We can always head back to the north. There's another barb camp. And there is Vilnius. And another continent. Alright, so we like that. Indeed. We have to really hope that that guy's to this one. We can get that cleared out before. It's interesting as well. Okay, so looks like we found another continent as well. Yes, we have. That's right there. So this is actually, well, this would be really handy in a game where you're actually planning on expanding and building lots of cities. There's a very good chance that I won't even build a city on a different continent. Other than, I guess, when we do go to war, we can go to war either east or west and find cities that have different luxuries and therefore quickly get extra amenities from that, I guess. So, alright. So this is a fairly even battle. We'll probably take a couple hits here. We'd like to see that full even battle. 2 hits, maybe rest for a turn. Depending on the rolls you get, maybe you get all 3 hits. Get the promotion, then hit again. So he's going to turn and run away, I would imagine. Or he may actually take this route. Oh, that's very interesting. I wonder... No chance there's somebody up there, eh? Because he would run away from if there's a unit up there. I don't know why. You don't usually see him do that. Okay, so I don't want to step into here. And it looks like I can definitely get to here. So this is probably flat land. So let's just keep moving here. Oh, there's a city-state right there. All right. And it's actually a very nice one. So for us, we're in really good shape right now. We found an extra money in our capital, which is great for military games. We found faster unit production in our capital right away, which will be fabulous when we go to build stuff. And Vilnius is fantastic because it helps us work through that culture tree. So instantly we've got 3 solid city-states that we like to see right there. So that's good. And then we can step to this piece of land right here. And we've met another one. This time not a first meet. Did we get first meets on all the other ones? Oh, we did not. Oh, we did not get first meet on Preslav. Sorry. Oh, because we met it. Oh, I was thinking that it said we did. Okay. So that's not as good as I thought it was going to be. I thought we got first meet on them, but we did not. Trigger Eureka for the wheel. That we can do. So that will very quickly get us that capital production there. We did get these 2 right away, which that's culture and science. And then Auckland, we did not get inspiration for military tradition. Grant a merchant, create a great merchant, which we should be able to do, and send a trade route to Vilnius. We'll have to get that land cleared up if we want to be able to send a trade route to them. Plus, we probably don't want to send trade routes to them simply because we're going to want to send our trade routes to our opponents in order to capitalize on Genghis's abilities. By the way, I completely forgot to quickly review Genghis's abilities at the beginning. I apologize for that. Let's do that now. So all cavalry class units gain 3 combat strength bonus and a chance to capture defeated enemy cavalry units. So that's really quite strong. So they're all throughout the year, especially early, like your horsemen just +3 stronger. Your knights +3 stronger going on through all your cavalry guys. So that's a nice strong ability. And then Mongolia itself, they have the Ortu, or however you say that, Orteu. Starting a trade route immediately creates a trading post in the designated city. So, when you get a trade route, a trading post in an opposing person's city, that gives you extra level of diplomatic visibility. But with every other civilization, you actually have to complete the trade route, go all the way to their city, all the way back, or sometimes it's their back. Whatever the trade route length was, you have to complete it. Then the trading post comes up and it'll actually give you the warning in the corner saying, hey, you've got a trade route in such and such a place. With Mongolia, that trade route, that trading post is established the second you start that trade route, the very turn. So that immediately gives you that diplomatic visibility. And, as you should know, diplomatic visibility also is a very important thing because it actually gives you advantages in combat. If you have a higher level diplomatic visibility than your opponent, then you get a combat bonus. And in addition to all that, Mongolia receives an extra level of diplomatic visibility for processing a trade post or possessing a trade post in the city of a civilization. So not just 1, but 2 levels of diplomatic visibility, meaning you're much, much more likely to have a higher diplomatic visibility than your opponent. And what that does is your Mongolian units double the usual combat bonus for having that higher level diplomatic visibility. So instead of getting, say, a +3 or +4 or whatever it is, you get actually double that in your diplomatic visibility bonus. So getting a trade routes to your opponents and then getting into combat with them is extremely OP with Genghis. And that's a combat. That's a mechanic we're really going to want to take advantage of. They also have some really nice features here. They have the Ordu. A building unique to Mongolia grants the ability to give +1 movement to heavy and light cavalry trained in the city. Extra movement, that's just means you're lightning fast. That's crazy fast. And also extra experience for your cavalry units, which is fantastic. So, fantastic, like I said. Can't tell you how great that is. And their other ability is their special unit, which is the Keshig. It can escort moving civilians and support units at the higher movement speed. So that means if you put a general or a even more important battering ram with if you link them up with this unit, then they can move the 5 tiles or whatever that you can move, which is fantastic. Meaning you don't have to slow down your forward progress because you need the battering ram to catch up, or because you need the general to catch up. And it's a ranged Mongolian unit on a cavalry. So what I actually refer to this thing as is I refer to this as a crossbowman in a Ferrari, because it essentially has the same strength and range strength as a crossbowman, same range, but it actually is on a horse. So crossbowman in a Ferrari is how I like to refer to this thing. It's really it really is what it is. It's just, instead of, like, you can literally, if you have this thing, it gets 4 base movement. If you build it in the same city that you built your Ordu, that's +5 movement. If you have a general that grants an extra movement, that's 6 movement. So you can actually move this unit 5 tiles if you do it right, and still be able to shoot 2 more tiles with crossbowman strength. They're incredibly strong. They're a lot of fun to use. So we're gonna push to those kind of like in that early-ish mid game. Once those are they kind of go hand in hand with your knights. You start with your horsemen and get going with those, and then you work on towards getting your Keshigs and your knights. We can actually just take a quick look and show you where those fall into the tree. You can see them here at the same place in the stirrups area. Very powerful unit. And they come basically at the same time as a crossbowman. So hence the number. So you start off, you push to your horsemen. You start taking out some of the early guys with your horsemen, and then obviously you push to your stirrups. Do that. And another good thing that I always talk about, no matter what kind of game style you're playing for, there's always a reason to have both science and culture. And you can see here how much you can shave off a huge portion of the research time to get to those amazing units by having the feudalism civic. So by having culture right out of the gate, nice and quick and early, will allow us to push through the culture tree, get to our first government, and then of course push to that feudalism civic. By getting to that, you are giving yourself the opportunity to get your better units faster. So it's not unimportant to have culture going in order to thrust through to defeat your opponents. All right, done. Sorry for not doing that right out of the gate, folks. It just kind of... I'll get better at this, okay? Next turn. Oh, Harold, what's up, buddy? Harold's gonna love us. We're on a Pangaea map and no access to water, so our navy's gonna be real strong. He's gonna just love it. You're not clear on the horses and battering them together. Horses are not melee units. And the description for Ram says melee units. I've moved them together before playing with these guys. I've played with Genghis before, and it's moved with them before. I think that I believe that they consider the battering ram a support unit. is the reason why. Would you like to visit our nearby city? No, I don't want to say that. Thanks for the introduction. Now get the hell out of here. That's what I want to say.
Who deserves more credit than the...
I think that they must be considering it a support unit. The battering ram. Because keep in mind, too, like the battering ram, you cannot pre-build that unique unit, no. You just have to build it from scratch, which is... It's a bit of a negative, but it's a very strong unit as well, so... No, sorry, no. So you wouldn't get, yeah, so maybe I didn't say that clearly enough. So you can, the Keshig will not get the bonus combat against the city walls that a battering ram gives. So you'd move the Keshig, you would move the battering ram with the Keshig in order to get the movement fast, get to the city walls, but you'd actually attack with your knights or your horsemen. Absolutely, sorry. Yes, you do not get a combat bonus against the walls. Like if you're, well, the Keshig's a ranged unit, right? So it's only, it'll hit the walls, but it's not gonna hit them very strongly. Depending on how strong the walls are themselves. But the yeah, sorry, the knights and stuff is what you'd actually hit the walls with to knock the walls down quickly, right? With the battering ram use. So you wouldn't actually hit. What do you mean you don't think that? Oh yeah, absolutely. I only ever fight with horsemen and knights, and they absolutely get the bonus from the battering ram. Yeah. Typically, my first few battles, you tear down the walls. In fact, sometimes if you got knights on small enough cities, or small enough numbered cities, like with their wall defense strength, you can actually take down the walls in one hit with a knight. Horsemen is usually early on, like with 21 walls, for instance, 2 hits from a horseman will take down those walls. As long as there's a battering ram, and then yeah, knights to crush 21s in one turn. I kind of want to get back over here. I'm kind of getting sucked away into this madness. Clear a direct line to Auckland. I'll allow him to clear the direct line there. If you use battering rams only with swordsmen. Oh yeah, horseman and that with the movement is OP for military strength and military abilities. Look at these nice tiles right here for Auckland. All right, research tech. So we want animal husbandry next. That'll allow us to build the pasture. I might actually, because the thing is my first worker. What I kind of think I'll probably end up doing is Corey. Farm the resource and pasture, but I can only do one pasture, so I kind of feel like I want to buy up to the horses just so I've got them in case I don't happen to get another builder right away before it's time to actually start building those. So we'll see. Money shouldn't be a problem. We got lots of money because we've got the meat on Muscat. Alright, there we go. So, another even battle. We're almost dead, but we do have the promotion. We will be able to... we'll be able to finish that off after a promotion right there. So, and so he came up, the scout came up here, so that tells me...
At his best, he's the noblest of all animals.
Let's change our policies here. Combat strength. And we'll grab this because we do want to work that faith chance that we could get to God of the Forge, which would be fantastic to get our early units built. It's very curious what he's doing. He actually might be the scout for this particular barb camp, which makes me nervous. What I'll have to do is finish this and maybe just beeline it back. So this guy might have come up here and then came down there, and that's why he's doing that. So that's interesting. Let me go take a... I don't really want to go towards that, but I'm going to go up on that hill and see what's happening. He's actually over there, so he's getting into position to help. So hopefully Auckland will take some of the pressure off if they do get warned. This guy has his promotion. We'll go ahead and take Battle Cry, of course. And go. Now, Improve 3 tiles. This is an interesting situation you have to keep an eye on sometimes because you can see here that because we've gotten that bonus culture from meeting that city state, we're moving through these a lot faster. And so you're running out. Sometimes when you get culture so quickly, you actually run out of time to actually get the bonuses. And it's always nice to continue to get the bonuses. So 10 turns on this, but actually it's only going to be 6 if we could ever get the improvements. But while I'm going to prioritize that worker to get those movements right after the settler, it's not going to be in time to finish craftsmanship. So you have 2 ways to do this. You can either pump 4 turns into this and pray to God you remember to switch it off, or you can go to foreign trade and then go back to this. And since you've already got the boost here, I'm going to test myself here because I want to get craftsmanship as soon as possible, because the moment I can turn on a Gogi and I can start spitting out units. So I'm actually going to test myself here. We're going to keep a close eye on that. 4 turns for craftsmanship, so that we're ready to get that as soon as, or sorry, 6 turns for craftsmanship, so that we're ready to get it when that 4-turn boost comes through, when we get the 3 tiles, which shouldn't be too much longer. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can test ourselves. We'll see if we can fail or not. And we'll start with there, and then we can either go there to there so we can help push out those settlers. We're only thinking maybe 2 more settlers after this anyway, so that's not nearly as important a card. And also we're going to want to not wait too long on military tradition for the flanking bonus as well. So yeah, let's do this thing. Next turn. Right, finish that guy off. There's your era score. That was only 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's inside 5. I think if it's 5 tiles away or 5 tiles in between, you get 3. I'm pretty sure that's the cutoff. I've looked a number of times to try and that actually gave us a boost. Oh yes, because they wanted the boost for military tradition, I think, right? So that's clearing the barb camp. So that's the bonus right there. So that's solid. That's the in order to get that, that's actually +2 production for wonders, buildings, and districts. So in our capital, when we're building our district, our encampment, and our building in there, that's just going to be a nice little bonus in there for sure. Always like to see that. And now we're going to just slide south of that barb camp. Just want to keep an eye on what they're doing here, if they're going to attack that or not here, and see what's going on. I feel like we're about to meet, he's coming from the south, right? So he's probably like here-ish. Just feel like this is a lot of open space. There must be somebody sitting out here somewhere. Hey, what's up, Chris? Good to see you, bud. Alright, next turn. I'm moving a little slower, I think. I feel like I'm moving slightly slow here. Let me just push this thing along. I'm going to come across the top just to see this, but I do need to get back to the city to see if I can't take a quick look at what the barbs are doing. This is actually going to pump out barbarian horsemen, because there's what's actually 3 tiles is the limit, but with that horseman there, when that gets triggered, it's going to pump out horsemen, and that's not going to be good. Step on the gas, baby. Let's move to here. Hey, Gilga Bro! It is an honor to meet you. And we would love to sample your hospitality and see where you are. Settler. And he's going to plop a city down right now. And he is close. He is actually to the south of us. So Norway must be either, well, maybe here-ish. What was it, 10 or 11 turns for him to meet us? So he must be out here somewhere. One of our tricks that I haven't used yet is check out Loyalty Lens. Oh, and actually Rome is to our left. I always forget about that. Hashtag gas. Or exclamation point. So Rome is right here, actually, not too far away. And we can actually use that over here as well. I always forget this sometimes. It looks like that's actually Cyrus down to the south. That's another military, a fairly strong military civilization. And that's what's her name? Cleopatra out there. So Cleopatra, Cyrus. And yeah, Norway. That's Norway's symbol. So Norway's out here, and he's got his other city. That'll be his third city there. So yeah. I think what I'm going to do, considering he's an immediate neighbor, so you kind of want to crush him. But keep in mind, he's got those strong war carts early, and so it actually wouldn't be necessarily a bad idea to make friends with him because Mongolia. Gilgamesh is actually, you can actually get an immediate friendship with him if you ask first turn. He'll give it to you, and so that actually would be quite strong right now. In order to wait, and then maybe you can always just, once the friendship expires in a little while, you can always say, okay, I've got knights now, let's go crush him. Those war cards are insignificant. Mind you, he will have strong science. You can already see he's got one of his science guys here, so he'll have strong science. So you won't be able to get ahead of him on military, but getting past the war cards might not be a bad idea. So let's go ahead and get a friendship with him. Let's just do that. How can you not make friends with Gilgamesh to at least start the game, right? I'm going to feel bad taking him out later, but... Incoming forward settle. Yeah, the forward settle is going to be right here, I think. I think he's going to plop down right now. Unless he goes up the river one more, maybe. But he's 3 tiles away from his capital. I would be very surprised if he didn't do that. So... that might actually count out me getting a city to the south. Wow. Wow. So I'm gonna have to hope for some more good tiles up here. I don't know. That's rough. There's nothing room out here, obviously, on this river, and we already know that Rome is here. So yeah, maybe we can squeeze in a city on the sheep. If he settles there, we might get a city on the sheep or something. We'll have to see. We may just have to do it. Hopefully he plops down right there. Okay, good. I think he did. Yeah, okay. So we can actually live with that. Oh. So he actually... that's interesting. He actually was from this barb camp. Because he's now gone aggro because his barb camp's dead. It's very interesting, though, that he saw us here and then started moving down this way instead of heading back. I thought for sure it must have been heading back here, so that's fine. We are going to want to go down here and take care of this, though, either way, because we don't know what horses roaming around. Gilgamesh, eat hot sauce. I kind of want to go up here. That did buy us some time. Just want to clear this out. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the South Islands there. I think that's the end of... yeah, that's like the end of that, I think. Let's look at our appeal. 3, yeah. So the appeal is 3, so you know that there's 3 water tiles touching this particular tile, so you know that's the end of that. So there's no chance of more land there. We'll head back through here maybe, and then come back into the city. Heal up. Maybe go take care of that. Let's go like this. Clear it. We have to figure out what's going on in here. Give us 1, 2, 3. So there's actually either one of these tiles. So we actually could settle here. There's a hill. There's sheep. So there's actually some nice tiles. We'll have to get a forward settle on them, but we're friends, so that's fine. That's what you hear on the leaderboard animation scene. Okay. Next turn. It needs orders. Interesting. So the best we can do is settle on one of these 2 tiles. That's tough too. I guess maybe you settle this because that maintains a 3 food, right? Yeah, that'll maintain a 3 food. So maybe you settle that, keep the 2/2 tile. Assuming that this doesn't turn into a massive desert, which it very well could. Either way, I think you want to put a city there. Either way, I think you want to put a city there. And in fact, I'll probably go that one first. Even though this one's better. I don't know. I'm not sure I want to do that or not. Oh, there's Wales. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I need to find out how good of a city this can be here. Okay, it's open up into the Glasslands, okay. Not a very good city. Very flat land. There's only a couple good tiles. That's not going to be a good city at all. If anything, I'm definitely making this city first. And we'll kind of explore this, see if there's a potential city there. And then we can figure out that. That was the alarm, folks. That was 40 minutes. Allow me just to take a couple more steps just so you guys can get a little bit more information on this video. Again, there's another luxury, which is solid. I think that's a settlement spot right there. But I think it's definitely City 3 or City 4. He could end up selling it on us if we don't hurry. But this is slightly concerning with the Warriors. That's incredibly quick. Incredibly quick. Wow.
I am fond of pigs.
We could be in a lot of trouble. We could be in a lot of trouble. Let's end it there and go find out on episode 2. Thank you very much for being here. I really enjoy having you guys. I'm really enjoying doing the YouTube content. Be sure to subscribe, follow, or subscribe and like, and also leave some comments below if you don't mind. Have a good one.